We're fucking live. Welcome to Guitar Practice.
Welcome.
Oh. I guess put on a clean channel and run the arpeggios and see what happens.
This is not a clean channel.
Strum it. It'll work.
Yeah.
Just run it like that. It just gets a little jumbled, you know, when you start doing arpeggios with distortion. You know what I mean?
Okay. Hey, bud. Should we not, talk about the podcast?
Nah, they'll figure it out.
Alright.
Run the arpeggios. Let's see what we can do. We'll stop after that. That's the intro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Listen, it's called guitar practice for a reason.
Fucking practicing.
Alright. Ready?
Go ahead, run
From-
it. Run it again.
Serious.
Dead serious.
Anyway, that was my test.
It doesn't sound bad distorted.
No. I feel like it might need to be clean, though.
Let me change it real quick. This is what. So I do like the on amp effects, but this is the downfall.
Yeah, you can't just, click it off real quick.
Yeah, try that. That just sounds, to me personally, you know, maybe a tiny bit of gain, but it's.
That is, I feel like that's how
I think
it's
it's fine.
meant to be.
Let me put a dip in.
Okay.
You know, I've heard about people talk about being recorded and the realization that you're being recorded.
Yeah.
And it is
changes everything.
fucking with me bad
Yeah,
right
it
now,
changes
dude.
everything. This is not
Yeah,
how it
dude.
works.
I'm so scared to play guitar right now. I've
way.
played in front of crowds. Yeah,
No way.
dude. No, it's just the
not
knowledge that you're being recorded is
Just
definitely...
10 million people listening, that's all.
No, literally nobody's listening. Nobody's listening.
The dogs.
The dog. They fucking barely listen anyway. No, but that is that's interesting to me personally.
Isn't
Yeah, I feel like.
I think it's something you just get over time, right?
Yeah, I think you just just eventually it just becomes nothing. I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Well, having someone to talk to helps a lot.
Yeah, I don't know how people just turn on a mic and just go for an hour, dude.
Yeah, no.
I'd be
makes
out
sense.
of my mind. Out of my mind.
I agree.
Let's try it.
Alright.
That wasn't bad.
Yeah, I super messed it up.
That wasn't bad. You can jack it up a little bit in the middle, but it's just getting used to the picking pattern. It's just going to be.
Well, I don't have a picking pattern yet, you know. I'm
Yeah.
not escaping the strings in the right direction because I'm not thinking ahead far enough, you know. I know that.
Yeah. So, well, the hard thing to master is because you can cherry pick and downstroke all of them, which I'm looking at, and that's kind of what you're
That's
doing.
what I'm doing, right? So it makes the most sense in my brain right now.
The hardest hurdle that, especially with scales, is down up. You know, the picking pattern of down. I'm going down up on every single one, even when I'm skipping strings. You know.
So is that something I should just immediately start working on, from the beginning?
What is? So I didn't learn any of this. What is the picking pattern for this? What's the chord?
Well, I mean, it's an E, right?
E or E minor?
It's
like this?
E. It's E because you have an open. Yeah, open that one up. Yeah, So you're going. Jesus. Yeah, picking patterns don't. Here, I'll show you exactly what I'm doing. So I'm going.
Like that?
Is that so? I can't name off strings fast enough.
It's too tight to really fingerstyle it.
Yeah, no, on these guitars, it's not working.
That?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can up and down pick. You'll feel when it's. You'll
This just
feel when
feels
it's
really
time
forced,
to change.
Right? Like if I just stay on downstrokes the entire time, it feels really like tense. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Well, I think that's just gonna be one. This is one of those riffs that it just kind of comes in time. What's the two fucking things on the back of this for?
Power and split.
Oh, you can chain this?
Yeah, you can
I don't
chain
know
this
that.
one. It's like the only boss that does that, I guess.
Yeah,
I was
I
talking
never
to the dude
noticed
at the
it.
guitar store about that. He said this is the only one you can just daisy chain off of.
Oh, really? He said that.
Mhm.
I didn't know that. No, I got this pedal.
So what is that pedal? We gotta talk there. It's
Oh
like
yeah, I
an
gotta tell
audience,
what it is.
right?
Yeah,
Got
no
this
video
pedal.
feed. Now the Boss TU2 chromatic tuner. Huge fan of Boss pedals.
Was that the two?
They're rugged. Hold up,
Hold up.
you got a new one? Damn.
Yeah. So I got the TU3.
Mine literally has fucking LED bulbs in the fucking screen.
Oh, no
Yours
shit,
actually
okay.
has like
Yeah.
diodes.
So it's like a full, it's like a full length
Yeah, mine doesn't do that.
LED bar. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So I mean, as a brand new player, you get like a practice amp. You have just a shitty little cheap guitar to start playing. Is a next good purchase gonna be an inline tuner?
Not really, man, because, and this is just my theory,
Yeah.
pedals are for gigs. Like, that's why they're metal. I mean, pedals are for gigs. You're supposed to step on them. The reason you step on them is because, you know, normally you're standing up in front of people. You know, even if you're sitting down in a chair, it's not like you have three free hands, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to step on them. Pretty much the only time you touch a pedal is when you fuck with it, you know. So as far as like a tuner pedal, unless you're playing gigs, just use a cell phone app. It's free, you know.
Yeah. Works just as good, honestly.
Now there are other tuners that you can like clip to the headstock, and it'll feel the vibration in the neck, and those are pretty accurate. The one in your acoustic, that's probably what it uses.
Yeah.
But as far as like a tuning pedal, it's one of those things where it's really nice to completely silence your guitar so you don't, like, while your front man's trying to talk or pump the crowd up or whatever. So it has that use, but also you can just hit it and just check real quick, especially if you're playing outside. The strings can tighten or loosen, the humidity, all this fucking science shit affects these things, and that's really the main use. But it's not a bad thing to buy because it is pretty sick. You
It's
know?
pretty sick.
It looks
you
fucking
definitely
sweet.
don't need a Boss tuner. Like of
Yeah.
all the things, like originally starting, the whole reason that I did get a pedal tuner over just like a neck tuner or whatever is like it is just straight jacked in line to your guitar, right? So
Yeah.
it's gonna be more accurate. And trying to tune up the shitty little guitar. Like,
So another
you know?
thing as well is when it's fucking loud as shit, you can't use the clip on. I mean, I guess you could,
In
but
a-
if it's
in a
like
noisy
loud,
room,
like in a
yeah.
venue and shit, you're not gonna hear an electric guitar if it's turned off in a fucking venue, and so you have to see it.
Yeah.
You know, hence the bright lights and all that shit, the green light.
Yeah.
So that's really like the main use for it. In between songs, you hear something pop or something
It's
kind of
not like a
slacks out.
necessary beginner thing.
No.
Yeah.
But it's cool as fuck.
It
My
is so
thing
cool.
is, like, whatever keeps you playing, buy it. I don't give a fuck what it is, dude. Like,
That's fair.
I don't care.
Yeah.
So, you know. Songs we're working on. We're working on Civil War by GNR. It's a grind.
It's kind of tough.
Yeah. Well, I
It's
mean,
literally like the first song that I'm learning.
it's pretty
Right?
tough for a first song.
The only song that
I mean,
I've ever learned.
honestly,
is
it
this.
sounds really you sound really good for the amount of time you've been playing. You sound spectacular, in my opinion.
I've held a guitar for 2 weeks, man.
It's pretty damn good. You know, like, you're on a podcast and we're fucking famous.
Yeah, right.
No, it's gonna be a grind. It's gonna be a grind all the way to the end, and it's a long song. So memorizing the actual full length of the song is gonna be a challenge too.
Yeah, I'm having a tough time. Basically, if I don't know it, it doesn't exist. Honestly.
Yeah, well, that's the same thing. As soon as I run into a fucking part of the solo, even if I'm looking like directly at the tabs, it is super tough to.
I mean, reading the
Just
tabs like almost made sense at the beginning, but
Like,
I mean, having somebody to explain it definitely is a big deal, right?
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's the code that no other instrument has tabs.
No, not really.
It's like it's cheating, you
Yeah.
know. 'Cause, like, so my mom's a piano player. She's been playing for fucking forever, and she can, like, she's so good at reading music that she can open it and start playing it by eye. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like sight reading.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And play it at the same time. She's
Yeah.
very active. It's crazy. It's amazing to see how, you know, they say music is another language, and the way she interprets it and puts it into action is as quick as I can form a sentence.
It doesn't matter if the dude just spoke Chinese. If he wrote that piece of music and puts it in front of your mom who speaks English,
Yeah, it's the same
it's
language
the
to
same
them.
language.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Across the globe.
But tabs is one of those. It still really hasn't clicked for me. Like, I can't sit here and look at tabs and immediately like, oh, dang, 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 dang. Another thing about tabs is, you know how you like in school you have the ta ta ti ti ta thing, and you know how quick a note should be.
Sure. Yeah.
It's not in
There's
tabs.
none of
There's
that,
there's no timing.
It's just a bunch of numbers on a.
Yeah, you have to know the song.
It's a bunch of numbers on a bunch of lines.
You have to know the song before, and what's worse is those like so in this part of the when Slash turns on the distortion, or the other guitarist does, where it goes there are two notes in between this D and the E, and you haven't heard them in the song. I noticed them in the tablature, and when I played them, I'm like, yeah, that's definitely in there. But as you go from the E those two notes, I wouldn't have known about them unless I looked at the tablature.
Right.
And then when I saw them and played them, I was like, that definitely belongs. But you don't know how quick those are. It just says 3-2.
Yeah.
And you don't know. It's just, but it definitely adds a lot more spice to the whole riff in general, or the chord set, or whatever the fuck you want to call it.
In my personal experience so far, my vast experience of 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I think just having the tabs available, you know, there's so many good options with free tablature for you that having them available to you is super important.
When
in
I
the beginning.
when I started playing guitar, it was mostly because of the church. You know, playing songs in the church,
Sure.
you know, in the youth band and that stuff, and I always gravitated toward electric guitars. I bought a guitar long before I started playing in the church. When I finally actually like played in front of somebody,
Yeah.
and there's like, I remember like pieces of paper with chord sets being like solid gold. What are you doing, dude?
These dogs are
What are you
going
doing?
nuts.
Just crawling out of bed, you fucking weirdo.
um,
But yeah, you would like, I had a folder with like pretty much song lyrics and then just the little A and the B and the chords on top of the line, which is how I learned, the rhythm and like hearing the chord changes. And because just because it says A right over like the word that it's supposed to say, that the chord is supposed to change at, you don't say I was walking down the road, you know what I mean? Like, you don't play it right at the beginning of the word. It's somewhere, you just have to find it.
Yeah. I don't know, it's important. I think, for a brand new person, you just pick up a guitar, right? Like, first thing. Just pick it up, start somewhere. Doesn't matter. Start, make terrible noises. Everybody's gonna do that, right?
It's bad. It's gonna be bad for a long time.
Like a long time, right? Like I'm definitely not out of the weeds yet, like by any means.
I mean, honestly, nobody really is. I mean, obviously, there's a lot of insanely good guitarists these days, but as far as the learning curve, for me personally, it's always been a grind.
Yeah. Start with a cool song that you think sounds kind of neat. There's a neat guitar lick in it. Find a tab for it. Find what those notes are, and just listen to that song over and over.
Yeah. Well, I've taken guitar lessons for about. Let me shut the door.
Yeah.
No, you're bad. But I've taken guitar lessons for about 1 month in total.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, ever since. So the first metal song I listened to was a band called Pillar. And my parents were really Christian, and they didn't, really let me listen to secular radio. But I always gravitated toward the guitars and stuff. Ever since I was really young.
Yeah.
And so my dad would go and find Christian artists that he thought I would like because of the intensity. Yeah, so there's this band called Pillar. I don't know if they're still together or not. And I remember I heard the song Frontline, and I think their first album, honestly. And it was just like, what the fuck is this, dude? I was out of my mind.
Yeah.
It was awesome. And I was like, I don't know what kind of music this is, but it's cool, and I want to pursue it, So that's really what kind of started. But there was ultimateguitar.com where you could get tabs, but they were super inaccurate. YouTube wasn't really YouTube guitarists weren't a thing.
Which Ultimate Guitar is still around.
Yeah, no, they're
crazy.
Yeah, well, you'll see 19 different versions of the same song now, and you just kind of click through them.
It's been out for 20 years.
Yeah, you just kind of click through them and then just kind of pick whatever fits your playing style and fits your ear because, as you notice, there's only 6 notes, and there's a lot of fretboard. So just because you're playing the right note may not be the right position, and so I would have to grind and figure out maybe what's better or what the chords were or download this and print it off MapQuest style,
Yeah.
There wasn't these apps and there wasn't these people that literally teach you for free on YouTube. So to pick up a guitar now is, I don't want to say way easier because there's still this skill-based part of it,
Put the time in.
Yeah,
right?
you still have to put the time in,
Still have to
but
practice.
there's so many people to guide you now. Someone doesn't have to teach you guitar.
Mm-hmm.
You can just go on YouTube and learn it now.
Yeah.
I had 2 guitar teachers. One guy was really boring and, just learned, scales and a little bit of music theory. But I was learning songs that I literally cared nothing about. There wasn't a time where I was like, oh, I can't wait to go to guitar practice to play the cool songs we're going to play there. No, it was just boring stuff that had nothing to do with what I wanted to do. And then I had my second guitar teacher we called him the King. He taught out of his house. And yeah, he was insanely good. He was a classical, fingerstyle guitarist.
Okay.
Which he's the one that taught me how to hold a guitar like this because it gives you more access. But classical guitarists are just a little different, and I wanted to play rock and roll and metal and shit,
For the audience, like this, you mean you're putting the guitar on the wrong leg, technically, right?
Yeah,
So
I
you're
mean-
putting it on the leg closer to the fret.
Well, he was like, "Nah, you gotta hold it over here," and I'm like, "I don't want to." You know, and sometimes I hold it like this, sometimes I hold it like that. You know, it just depends on what I'm doing, really. And honestly, this is closer to actually when you stand up and play is a whole nother ball game that you're gonna have to learn. But he was making me read music and putting it to the guitar, and that's great if you do that. That's cool, but that's not really for me. I like to just learn a riff and then just keep learning songs.
So I guess what you're saying basically is the most important thing is just apply everything that you're doing to stuff that you enjoy more than just like grindy, basic, like hot cross buns is cool, I guess, but
Yeah, no, it's not cool,
Don't do
dude.
that.
There's nothing cool about that song, dude.
Yeah, you
Nobody
know what I
likes
mean?
that song. Nobody gets in their car and be like, "Oh, dude, me and the boys are about to go drink. Put on some hot cross buns right now."
Nobody.
Get the fuck out of here, dude. Nobody wants to hear it. We want to hear fucking, name it. Ozzy Osbourne. We want to hear
Yeah, dude.
fucking AC/DC. It's such a bro song, you know.
Truthfully, I mean, none of these songs are that out of reach, right? Like
The way metal's
some of them
going
are
these
crazy,
days,
but
the
no.
new shit.
I say none of them. None of them.
The new stuff is so far out of reach for me.
Yeah.
It's yeah. If you go on TikTok for 5 minutes, you're gonna feel bad. You're gonna feel bad about yourself because you can tell that these kids are just, 8 hours a day kind of people.
That's why we're here, man. After work, sit down.
Guitar practice.
Guitar practice.
Guitar practice.
This isn't guitar pros. This is guitar practice.
Hell yeah. You been working on anything else? Just the arpeggio.
Dude.
Just the grind.
I've been grinding on one super tiny little piece of the song. Like I said, if I'm not playing it currently, it doesn't exist.
Okay. So my first rock riff, I'm pretty sure I told you this before, was TNT, AC/DC. It is a very simple chord set with it's pretty much E, G, and A, and that's it really. And it's not even a G. It's just 3 on the E string, the high E. So I play E like this, right?
Let's do some practice.
Yeah, let's do some practice. Play E like this, it sounds like this.
Picks up.
So there's a lot of muting, and you play with these 2 fingers the whole thing. You gotta chop it. So I'm just, instead of playing a G chord, I'm literally just hitting the 3 right there. I would suggest playing the E and the A with your index.
Okay. So we do second fret on E.
Yeah.
A.
So just bar it a little bit and kind of keep your pick in the top 3 to 4 string region. Almost. Instead of alternating, instead of doing just bar it.
Or what? These?
Bar the A, yeah. Yep. And you want to bar at least 2 for the E.
I'm hitting too many strings.
Yeah.
Who put all these damn strings in the
Yeah.
way?
What the fuck? So here's what the riff sounds like if you're actually going 1, 2, 3, go. So even though it's not a note, that chop is a really integral part of that song. It really like keeps the rhythm going. Bam, 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 bam.
Okay, let's try it out again. So are you playing like, all three top strings there?
Yeah. Just let it go, man. See that shuffle you're trying to do?
Yeah.
Just do this. Just keep that finger clamped on that. That. See how it's a lot easier, way less movement?
I know what's wrong.
Huh.
My guitar doesn't sound cool.
It's a real problem, dude.
It's an issue. There we go.
Turn it to 11. That's
Yeah.
so funny that they made the metal channel
Dude,
11.
isn't it? Alright, so
Remember Spinal Tap?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Turn it to 11.
Do you think that that is why they did that?
It's gotta be, dude.
We're looking at a Fender Mustang right now that he bought, and channel 11 on the little digital screen is called, what, Metal Lead or something like
yeah,
that?
metal lead.
Yeah.
Yeah. So channel 11 goes, we go from clean to just straight nasty.
Yeah. Keep that going. Oh, come on, man. I was feeling it there for a second.
I don't have it, dude.
You don't have it, dude.
Don't have it.
Can you do that on the top E? Not bad. Not terrible.
That was fun.
Yeah. No, it's good to just
Yeah, just
send it, you know?
felt good. Right?
If you get something just super simple, like, don't get me wrong, I love that we're learning GNR, but at the same time, sometimes it just feels good to rip a chord set and just fuck around.
Yeah, honestly.
Yeah.
Small wins. It's literally
Small-
the
dude.
first thing that you said to me. You need small wins.
You need a
dude.
bunch of small wins so that you don't get overwhelmed and put it down.
For real.
You know? That's the thing.
What's that fucking bridge called? The oh god damn it.
Bridge.
The
Oh, the palm mute?
no, the one that was on that Schecter that I was looking at.
Oh, yeah. So he was looking at a new guitar. It was a Schecter. I want to say it was a Omen. A Schecter Omen
Yeah, that
6
sounds
string. And it had a Floyd Rose on it. And I
Floyd
recommended him probably don't buy that because I have a Floyd Rose. And I've been playing since I was like 8 or 9 or I don't even remember really. But I have a Dean Razorback dime bag with the Floyd Rose bridge in it. And it's super cool. until you have to tune it, and then it can turn into a waking nightmare.
It's the worst. Huh?
It can be bad, man.
So
I mean, right off the bat, you have to cut the little balls off the end of the strings, because you don't slide in like normal. Like, you have to clamp them down with the screw. It's a lot, man. It's a lot. You don't want to deal with it. I promise, dude.
Fair enough.
You don't want to deal with it. It's really easy to break strings on that thing, and when you break one, you have to get all new strings. It's a lot. It's a lot of maintenance.
I wanted that guitar because it looked sick.
I think
the
it was
whole
sick as hell,
reason
dude.
I didn't buy it is
I
because
think
he
it was
said
sick.
you need small wins.
Yeah. I mean, it's true, though.
No, I'm happy that I didn't get it, honestly, because
I mean, a Strat can be frustrating in and of itself. Just to try to, I mean, we had an issue with the bridge spring tension. Somebody unscrewed the screws that hold the bridge springs tight, so I had to screw them in, and I was so nervous I was gonna split it.
Listen, we play with used gear and used gear only for the
Used
most
gear.
part, and that's just the stuff you run into, I guess, right?
Yeah, I mean, most of the stuff's been abused. People pick it up and quit, so you can find a lot of good deals, but you're also gonna have to figure out how to. You really have to figure out how to deal with it. Well, I don't know how long this thing's been going on,
Where does
but
it show the time at? It doesn't.
no, it doesn't. We don't know how to use GarageBand. That's what we're using to record this podcast, and
Doing our best.
we got 2 mics. One of them's working. One of them we can't figure out how to add a track.
Doing our best.
It's probably some noise issues in the background, but
There's gotta be,
that's what makes it metal, dude.
honestly.
3, 2, 1, cut.